Boom.
Yep, and just keep watching to make sure that stays. I'm not sure if it would do anything else.
Is it taping right now?
Yeah, but we're not going to use much of that yet because we're
getting ready.
Yeah, and we just want to be able to, and I'm kind of, the only reason I'm so close to you, I'm not in the shot, am I?
No, you're fine.
Okay, good. Because I'm only bugged in there. No, is because of the sound. So we need to be able to hear me and hear you. So let me just tell you a little bit about what we're doing. First of all, I'm Kristen.
Hi.
And these guys,
I'm Deverick.
Okay.
Annette and Deverick, and we're all students at Wichita State, but we also work and do different things. But we're part of a team called Humans of Wichita. If you ever do you ever get on Facebook?
No, I don't have.
Okay, that's okay. There is a story out there. It's been going for a while on Facebook called Humans of New York, which is what gave us an idea. And what it was is this a young guy that went around taking pictures of people in the city to hear about all the different variety of people that live there.
Yeah.
To give people a flavor of it, so it's not what everybody sees on TV and all that. But what we wanted to do is we're doing an awareness program, and for Wichita, just for this area.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is get people to understand how easy it is to be out of your own house, what many different types of situations, how it can easily be them or me or any of us. We want to stop the stereotypes. We also want to kind of educate people on how to help somebody else, or at least understand that Wichita does have services. And then we also want them to know that it's not everybody that's under the bridge on a bike with you know what I'm saying? That people are real. We want people to give their own stories however they want. We're very much respectful. We care, and we want to know more about you. And so what this is for is we're going to, we are doing a documentary that's for the college. We're going to do it, and you're going to be invited. We're going to have you guys as special guests to come out, if you want to Wichita State and sit in a theater, and we're going to watch the movie together. And the professors are going to be there, and just whoever wants to come. And the goal of it is, for example, the camera's not going to be, even though it's on you right now, we just mostly need some of the audio to hear about your story, because we're going to fill in neat stuff about you. For example, if you say, yeah, when I was 7, I was a Girl Scout. So we'll throw in a photo of the Girl Scouts and the uniforms and the cookies. And so you'll hear your voice, but it's not going to always be on your face all the time. Because nobody's going to sit and watch TV and just watch this face all the time.
Yeah.
And it makes you nervous. And so that's not the goal. So the goal is we're just going to have a conversation. We're just going to talk about some stuff, and that's it. And there's no pressure. You can choose not to say anything. You can say I'm not comfortable, or, if you feel like opening your heart up, because the goal for you is this is your chance for people to know, why they need to give a care, if that makes sense.
Right.
It's not that people don't care. Wichita people do care, but especially this time of year, you've got, everybody's got their hand out trying to say, give to this, give to this, give to this. And you got the kids selling cookie dough, and you've got, the basketball team trying to, everybody's just trying to get something from everybody else, and then they lose track of what's important. But what they forget is people are out there every day trying to do something with their life. They're trying to do something. So that's all it is. So we're just going to have a little combo. It's not going to be very long, but it might. We might end up finding out we have the same stuff. We might be from the same town. Never know. So I just want to tell you, all I know about you, this is all I know, is that you are dealing with some medical stuff, and you're trying to work, even though you're dealing with it. You're trying to do something to get out there, but you're still, you're in pain, and you're trying to manage that. And that's all I know. That's all I know, because it's your choice to say whatever. So here's what I'm going to do. And I don't really have anything set. I'm just going to do what I did with the other ladies. And so they're just, what these guys are going to do, they're going to take notes. So in case I forget or we don't hear something clearly, to help us later with the documentary, such as those items like Girl Scouts. So they'll remember, oh, let's get a photo of that. because we, and we're gonna set it to music, and so we'll set it to what's Luann's personality or something that you might like or something when it goes to enter or as it's leaving, and then we're gonna interweave. We did another set of interviews that is the other side. What we did was we walked around campus and we asked people 5 questions, and I'm not going to tell them on here because we want to get some more. But we asked them, for example, what do you think a homeless person looks like? Or we asked them this, and some told us the truth and some did not. We said, has there ever been a time when you had no choice but to leave your home? And some of them were like, no, but a couple of them were honest. One girl was awesome. She said my parents were going through divorce and I couldn't handle the fighting anymore and I didn't want to start having to pick sides. And she said and she told us that she had to go live with her grandma for a while until she could get ready to start college at WSU, until she could move into a dorm. And she said the good part that came out of it was she was able to not have bad thoughts about her parents, let them duke it out at home, but she couldn't handle the stress from it because they were trying to put her in the middle, have her deal with all kinds of stuff. So I loved that from her. But we also had people that said, oh, they're riding a bike downtown, they're on drugs, they're wearing an army coat, and they smell. And you want to punch them, but you're not going to.
Right.
And because we're going to have those interwoven in, this is the perception by some people. Could be ages, could be the way they're raised, all that kind of stuff. But the thing is because you're here, you're already going into a good direction because it's just temporary. It's just a transition.
Yes.
It is. It's a snapshot in one little calendar piece of your life when your life is like this. And so that's what we just want to know. So I'm going to go ahead and start. First thing I just want to know is, where are you from? Where were you born?
Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, so you're homegrown girl.
Yeah.
All right. So in the city proper or around the edges of town, anywhere?
In the city part.
In the city, okay. And then do you have brothers and sisters?
I have 2 sisters and I had a brother that passed away.
Really? Now, what order are you?
I'm the second one.
You're the second one. Now, girl, or who was the oldest, a girl or a boy?
Girl.
Okay, so you had 2 girls, and was there a lot of distance between you guys, or were you close?
My sister is a year and 20 days older than I am. She's October 8th. I'm October 28th.
Oh, your birthday.
Yeah, so for a long time, my mom had to sit me down and say, you are not 20 days apart. You are a year and 20 days.
Right. Well, so happy late birthday, a couple days here.
But we're tight as ever. We always have been.
So all the siblings, or you girls?
3 girls, and the youngest, we're kind of just not talking to her right now. So
when you...
she's my rock. I mean, when I have a crisis, I'm calling her, and what do I do? How do I handle? She's good people.
That's awesome. So when you were born first in Wichita, was it to mom and dad? Was it just mom? Was it grandparents? Who did you live with?
Mom and dad.
So it was mom and dad.
Yeah.
And what did they do? Did dad work?
Dad worked for KG&E for 35 years, safety and medical.
And was mom at home with you?
She was at home till we hit high school. Then she went and worked at a jeweler's, and she worked Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, 6. Yeah.
So would you consider yourself coming from a strong Midwestern middle class income-wise family?
Yeah, I call it middle upper.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you definitely did you guys have any kind of routines? Did you go to church or any of that kind of stuff? No, that's okay.
No.
Some people, because it's Wichita, some people either did.
Our grandma would take us to church on Sundays.
Okay.
There were 4 of us, and she'd line us up, and we got 1 Surt's candy and a dime. And you could have that candy, whatever you wanted, but you only get 1.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you be quiet. And we do, we were pretty good kids.
Yeah.
My dad, he'd look at you and you felt,
Where you didn't have to be spanked because the look is all it took.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, by the time you got, let's say, to kindergarten, where'd you go to kindergarten at?
Clark Elementary.
Oh, it's my granddaughter's. I already know.
Yeah.
So when you were there, did you because your sister would have already been in school, so
Right.
you'd have been the next one coming in. How did you feel about school when you started going?
I liked it. I always liked school. It got you away from home.
Yeah.
You know, you were busy and doing something, not being bored and in your room.
As you were starting to go through like that time, did you start to find out little things that you were good at that you liked? Like, did you like music or sports or reading or art?
In middle school, I tried. I was a pom pom girl. I worked very hard to get it, and I was like the last one they chose. I was thrilled, but our picture was not in the yearbook, so it could make me a liar.
Right.
But I also played the flute.
Oh, how long did you play for?
I played it all in middle school, 3 years. And then when I started high school, I was like, no.
Oh, different
Nah.
world.
Yeah, the marching band.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So it was hard. Grandma would take me to my dad's cousins. They had a room at WSU, the music room.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'd go in there. She'd drop me off, and she paid $2 for me to be tutored by her.
Wow.
And then Grandma would sit in the car and read her magazine for an hour, and then I'd come back out, you know.
Yeah.
But my parents didn't really encourage anything. You know, I was really wanting to get out there and, well, I got my pom-pom dress and outfit, and you had to make the skirt and bloomers, and I came home, ran home, Mom, I made it. Who's going to make your uniform? I sure as hell ain't. And it just bombed you out,
Yeah.
you know.
Were your parents pretty kind of solid, strict, were they not huggers and kissers?
Right. And they were hard on me and my sister, my older sister. The other two, it was like, here's keys to the liquor cabinet, keys to the car, go for it. They were
Different standards for this set.
Yes.
Set. So when did you start figuring out that you were starting to stress out being at home in terms of, was home life okay, or was there any kind of abuse?
Well, my brother became a diabetic at 12. And doctor told him he wouldn't live past 30. So he didn't care about life. And he drank and did other stuff. And we'd come home from our dates, and Mom and Dad would have him in the bathtub holding his mouth so my date couldn't hear him screaming when we came in.
Right.
And it was very hard on Mom and Dad. He quit school. They tried to keep him in school. And they had my grandma on one side and my aunt on the other side in the car. And he tried to push Grandma to get out.
Yeah.
That's how bad he didn't want to go to school. So he was also in the psychiatric unit in Wesley for a couple of years. And I raised my younger sister. And we had dinner on the table. Mom and Dad ate after working all day and went and saw my brother. And so I was kind of my little sister's.
You're her keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got her to school. I helped her with her homework. I got her bath.
So when you were going through school, and now you're getting into high school,
Yeah.
and you have these little. Did you have any idea of what you wanted to do with your life after school? Did you have daydreams of career or getting married or moving away somewhere? What were you hoping to do at that time in life?
I worked at KFC when I was 16, and my deal was I'll work full time. You know, I'll make money. You know, my mom begged me to go to college, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
So I worked full time when I got out of high school.
So when you were in high school, would you consider yourself a outgoing person? Did you date a lot, or did you just hang out with your friends? Did you get into partying and drinking at all, like a lot of kids do?
No, it was there. You know, I did go out sometimes, but the main thing was I was a tomboy. And I just hung out with the guys like, Dan, man, you know, we were best friends.
Yeah.
And all the girls were like, how come they talk to you and not me, you know, because I'm out there shooting at basketball. My sister was the pretty one, long blonde hair and the makeup, and every morning, I hate you. Are you going to wear a t-shirt to school? Yeah. I ain't wearing makeup. And here she'd been up since 5 a.m. getting all pretty. Yeah. She had a lot of days. I didn't have any. I'm going with so-so, hang out. Yeah.
So what was it like in Wichita in high school? Like, what was it like around here? Where did everybody hang out, or what did you guys do? did you guys cruise up and down here, downtown, or did you go out? Did you guys do, bonfires or, I mean, what was it like to just be a teenager then?
We did Jack Douglas. They would have keg parties out in the country at someone's house.
Yeah.
We partied down the bridge by Park Lane. You could drink wine and smoke cigarettes and be cool. Yeah. that was about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, then when it came time, did you graduate school?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
And was mom and dad still okay, or were they getting ill, or where's brother at by this time when you're graduating?
Brother was really hard for my parents to handle. He just did not want the insulin shot, and I could hear my mom saying, you have to take it to live, you know. And it was hard, and my dad wanted one way and mom wanted the other, so they were slowly going apart at that time. And I understand, you know.
Yeah.
So like I say, I really wanted to get out.
Yeah.
You know, my older sister, she ran away a lot. And every Saturday, her and I were to do everyone's laundry, go to the grocery store, stock the fridge. Yeah, we did it all.
So you pretty much ran the house. You were young little adults, whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah.
So you had a part-time job, you're in school, you had a little bit of spending money and that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Did you have a car in high school?
Yeah, my dad came home with a 57 Chevy. And my sister and I were like, for real? And he shut the door and he said, you want a nicer car, you go get your own. So we had to share this car, and we were just so embarrassed.
By then it was probably a big boat, yeah.
Yeah, it was. And
Those are cool.
I know they're
So,
old style now.
at 16, I bought a Pinto. That was my first car, 5-speed.
What color?
It was white, and it said
Oh,
Pinto SE on it.
that's awesome.
Special
Usually they're
edition.
green.
Oh, I tell you. It was a cool car, though.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8-track was it 8-track stereo, or was it regular just plain radio inside?
Plain radio.
Plain radio.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite band when you were in school? Or singer? Or what type of music did you like?
Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Okay.
Yeah. They were good.
All right. Well, so now you're done with school. Did you fall in love and go off and get married, or what did you do after school? What happened?
After school, I met a guy.
Was he
And
from here?
yeah, he's originally from Alabama.
Wow,
Yeah.
accent?
Bama. Yeah.
Cowboy hat? The whole deal? Or
No. But we dated and we got married like a year after that. And it just didn't work out. You know, he had his plans, his way of doing things and all that. And a year later, I left.
And so how old were you when you left?
19.
Did you guys have any kids?
No.
No kids.
No.
So just passionate love, fell in love, oops, bye. See you later.
Yeah.
So what did you do after that? Were you working? Do you remember, or what were you doing?
I was always working. I can't remember.
But did you live on your own? I mean, did you have your own apartment and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I lived with 2 other girls, and they were students at WSU. So they had a lot of parties we went to. Yes. Either the bar or someone's room, you know, in the wheat shop dorm.
Did it make you want to go? Did you start thinking about no? So you still weren't interested. You're like, that's not my bag. That's not for me.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cool. So, then as you got to going, did you end up meeting anybody else?
Let me see. I lived on my own 4 years with girlfriends or something. And I met a guy I was working at Crystal Lake Foods, and we sell frozen meats and cheeses. Mm-hmm. And I would call a restaurant named Grandy's, the manager, every week and ask him his order. And he'd always say, hi, Crystal, how are you? You know. And then I went up and applied for a job there. I need an evening job. And he said, are you kidding? You want me to make you work Monday through Friday, but off the weekends? No. He didn't hire me, but he asked me out. And so we got together, and the day my younger sister got married, we moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Wow.
And it was beautiful country. It was neat stuff. It was fun for us. The problem was I missed home. I missed it bad. Yeah. He was close with his parents, but not that close. That's a guy thing.
Yeah. So he was adventurous and he was ready to live out there, and you were...
After a while, it was like, I really like a trip home, you know.
Yeah.
and stuff like it was hard. But we both came back, and on the way we stopped in Manhattan, Kansas, and they had a water slide that hadn't been opened for years. And so my ex, he wanted money, make money, make money. So we opened up the water slide, cleaned it up, we busted butt.
Wow. So you had a business. You guys started a business together.
Yeah, and we had a little trailer that we lived in, but I found out I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And so it was cooler in the game room, so we slept on a pool table when I was pregnant. It was very comfortable compared to sweating your butt off outside.
Working out there.
And so we were there a year, and that's a college town.
Yes, it is.
We had a lot of sorority and fraternity parties, private parties at night.
Mm-hmm.
And doctor told me I couldn't go down the slide because I was pregnant. Well, I put on a pair of tennis shoes, and I went down once. I thought, don't tell me no. It's not my fault. And then we moved to Wichita. He got offered a job at Learjet.
Mm-hmm.
Full-time, good money, and I was pregnant. And that Christmas, I had a 10-pound kid.
Wow.
Beautiful boy, yeah. But I wanted another. And he had 2 others.
Oh, from before?
And he said, I cannot afford another. I said, I want a girl. And we split up because of that.
Oh.
I just was going to have another one.
Yeah.
And then I met another guy. I've been married a few times.
That's all right.
Another guy, and I got pregnant, and I got my girl.
Okay, good.
He had a son, and his son was 3 years old. He had not been near a woman for years. His mom abandoned him. And I told him, you can call me Luann or Mom. And he chose Luann, but a year later, I heard this, Mom, and I thought, what? And it was him.
Oh.
So now he's big, tall, and calls me Mom,
Yeah.
He turned out, it was rough growing up for him.
Yeah.
He kept thinking his mom would come, and he was ugly, and something was wrong with him.
Right.
I told him, when you're 18, I'll help you find her, but I can't now.
Right.
But, I was with that guy for 7 years, and towards the end, he beat me up.
Was that the first time that ever happened to you?
Yeah.
How, do you remember what brought it about, or what happened? Or
We had a fight, and I was pregnant maybe 3 months, and he pushed me hard. And it seems they never hit, they just push you hard, or, do something like that. He pushed me in the shower, scalding hot water one time, in front of his son. And we fought a lot about his son and how to raise him and all that. And I knew I didn't have much say-so, but I worried about it.
You're trying to love that.
Yeah.
So then did you finally have enough? And
he had
part of that, or?
We were arguing, and he took my arm and bent over the bar right by the door, and my daughter was behind him, hitting him on the back, saying, stop it. She was 7. And he turned around, and his fist was this close to her face. And I said, go to the car right now. And I went to my dad's. I dropped her off. I said, Dad, I got to take care of something. And they arrested him. And when I say I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
So that we finished. He did pretty good seeing her, and the thing was, I moved in with my dad. And
was your mom gone, or were they just divorced?
They were separated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They still attended Christmas, birthday, everything. They needed their own little huts.
Gotcha.
That was a problem.
They had enough stress, but they didn't want to completely part.
Yeah.
Right.
And my dad said, I'm 50 years old. I'm getting out. I'm not happy. But we knew that for years. We always said the high heel in the front door. Yeah, Mom threw that sucker hard. So, but I lived with my dad. We celebrated Christmas, and a week later, I found him in the bedroom gone.
Oh.
And
How old was he?
62.
Wow.
And he only got one Medicare check.
Right.
Just one. That's all he got. But he had a account set up for when he died, or if he needed it. long story short, my sister and I each got $500 a month
Oh,
for
wonderful.
15 years.
Thoughtful. That's awesome.
Oh my God. Well, and when he first died, each of us got a check for $33,000.
Wow.
And here I was on welfare, working at WSU, had my daughter in daycare, and I got all this money. It was scary.
And probably, because it probably didn't know how to manage it yet, or what am I going to do with it?
Right. And you get people calling you, you get letters, oh, free credit limit, you know. It's like, how did they find out?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And
They
everybody
do.
I knew thought, oh, she's rich as ever, you know.
Everybody coming out of the woodwork. Suddenly,
Yeah.
I need help paying my water bill.
And it was just really strange. First thing I did, I paid $1,000 to a child psychologist to say she doesn't need to be around her dad. And he said, yeah, she's lost many male figures. She lost 2 brothers. Because I sent my son, his dad sent him to St. John's Military School. He was making straight F's, but he was a smart kid. He just was a rebel.
Yeah.
So my dad died in January, and we knew Brian, my son, his father had cancer. He died November of that year.
That same year.
So my brother lost a grandpa that was in their lives and joked and loved his little people, you know. And then he lost his father. And I would take him to Kansas City before his father died, and I'd rent a room and let him stay with his dad. You know, his dad and I got along great. We really did.
That's good.
So we split up because his dad wanted to go to school. I didn't see how we were going to make money, and I wanted another job. But we split up. It was a business deal. We never fought. We were very
So you were able to move on and be
Yeah.
friends out of the deal.
Yeah.
Which is good for your son.
And he had a mansion home. And then my son would come back to this little trailer with a man who beat me.
Yeah.
And, you know, that had to be, yeah.
Yeah. So after you, where were you working at WSU? What were you doing for them?
I was in human resources because I was through a program with welfare. And it was welfare to work.
Oh yeah.
And so
yeah.
I worked, but I didn't get paid, but I had daycare. And I applied for jobs and had interviews.
And you got skills,
through
yeah.
Human. I really wanted to work at WSU, but then Dad died, and I couldn't take it.
So what'd you do after that then? So you got this money, you're getting these offers and all these people showing up. Now, let me ask you a personal question before you answer. At any time, did you start yourself like drinking or any kind of prescription drug use for stress or any of that kind of stuff?
That's when drug use came into being.
Okay. How old were you when you kind of got started? What
44.
Really? So later, and why did someone give you something and say, here, take this for stress?
My sister.
No, it's common in families. People mean well. We're not saying it's right, but people will say, "Oh my God, you've been through so much," or after a death, and they'll, you know,
That's what I did.
Xanax or something.
$33,000. I could just go to the ATM, take out what I need to buy the drugs.
Yeah.
And it kept me awake because my dad had no will. And I had papers all in his bedroom. I told my little sister, I'm tired, I can't do this anymore. And that's when she said, try this. It'll keep you awake. And it did. And I got cleaning done, I got the paperwork done, got my kids off to
Feel like you got it going. All
Yeah.
together.
I had energy.
Yeah. And then when did you start to notice that this may not be working all the time?
I got married, officially married. And I had known him a few months. And I said on my wedding day, I quit. I'm done. And I did. And I quit for quite a few, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And then him and I split up. And I did some more. You know, it's hard to walk away
Because
from.
they say once you know it, even though you're taking a break, it's like you remember how I
got
curved you
things
through for a
done.
while. Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
But as you get in your 40s and up to your 50s, your body starts to not react the same way to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I quit. I didn't have